new generation Viper ACR. A big middle finger to everyone who says American cars can't go around turns. The previous generation ACR set a lap time at the Nürburgring that still remains in the top 10. This one crushed 13 lap records and beat the 918 at Laguna Seca. We are in the ACR at our new home track, N1 Concours in Pontiac, Michigan. This car makes an extremely strong statement, something that can set lap times faster than cars 10 or 20 times the price, and something that looks like a drawer full of daggers. It's no reason why people sought after the ACR. The Viper is a niche market car. This is made purely for the enthusiast who wants a car that's borderline street legal, that you can take home from the track, but that you can perform just in another universe when you're actually on the track. The ACR has proven itself time and time again, but we are excited to test this thing out for ourselves. So what makes the ACR different than a normal 5th gen Viper? Well, first off, it does have the same engine, 8.4 liter V10, 645 horsepower, and 600 pound-feet of torque. It actually weighs slightly more than a base SRT Viper, but it also has a lot of aerodynamic add-ons that we'll talk about later. 0 to 60 in the mid to low 3-second range, but this car is not about straight line speed whatsoever. It is about the grip and the downforce. Dodge claims that this car can do 1.5 Gs of lateral acceleration in hard cornering. That is absolutely out of this world incredible. And a lot of that is due to the aero package. This car has the $6,900 Extreme Aero package equipped on the car. That gives this vehicle, at its top speed, 1,710 pounds of downforce. That's almost like having another entire vehicle pushing the car down into the ground when you're going around turns. Another thing is the tires. These are Kumho tires developed specifically for the ACR, and that means it's gonna get more grip than even something like the Pilot Sport Cup 2s, which is the general go-to tire for really, really high performance cars. The crazy part about the ACR is, with the Extreme Aero package, the top speed that was 206 miles an hour without it is now 177 miles an hour. That is an unbelievable decrease in speed purely because of all that extra weight and drag put onto the vehicle with that aero package. The great part about the ACR is it's actually pretty easy to drive. At slow speeds, you've still got plenty of grip. This isn't a car that you have to push to 10 out of 10 on the track to get all of that downforce to get any sort of grip. The tires are incredibly sticky, and this corner's as flat as it gets for a non-flat out race car. Oh my God. It's actually staggering how much grip this car has. All right, let's start pushing it a little bit harder. The steering feels perfect. It's pretty stiff, but it doesn't take too much muscle to maneuver. The brake feel is fantastic. Another difference between the normal Viper and the ACR is the addition of Brembo carbon ceramic brakes that are able to stop this car from 60 miles an hour in 87 feet. That is record breaking. So not only does this car have insane grip in the turns, you're also able to push it faster into the turn on the straightaway because you have so much confidence with braking. With those carbon ceramics, you're gonna have much less brake fade after several laps around the track. It's definitely not as quick in a straight line as a lot of cars that are sitting similar lap times to this, but it makes up for all of that in the mid-corner speed. This is able to corner a lot quicker. Now the sound, I'm not a massive fan of the way the Viper's V10 sounds. It's very, very low pitched. It's absolutely not your typical V10, but it's also 8.4 liters, so it's not as high revving as well. But, oh my God, from a pure fun to drive standpoint on the track, this might be the most fun car I've driven on a track, purely because you can take turns at such higher speeds than your brain thinks you can, and it just grips. It is incredibly easy to place on the road, and turn in, it's not quite as quick as some other lighter cars. I'm thinking specifically some Porsches, GT3, Cayman GT4, but after that initial turn in, it feels very linear, just a slight increase in turning, and it gets it around that corner. Heavy on the brakes. Oh my gosh, it actually pulls your face. You can feel your face getting ripped out of your skull when you're on the brakes. The clutch is actually very light in the ACR. The pedals are placed very, very, very close together. Heel-toe downshifts are very easy to do. Brake feel is great. The pedal feel and the steering feel is phenomenal. The car definitely rides hard, but this is a very, very smooth track. The car has a 10-way adjustable suspension, so you can manually adjust that to adapt to the track. I mean, if you're looking for a car that you legitimately can drive on the road, but that absolutely kills it on the track, and you're not looking for an open top experience like something like an Ariel Atom or a BAC Mono, this really is the car to get. The Porsche GT3 feels a little bit more refined in the interior, but in terms of raw driving experience, it's not really any more fun than the ACR, especially in this track where it's a predominantly almost all third gear track, a little bit of downshifts in a second if you're trying to push it. It doesn't need that automatic gearbox. Now there's a company local to here, Prefix, that's developing an automatic for the Viper, but this is plenty fine with that 6-speed manual. This is about as raw as it gets of a driving experience of a modern day car. I think this era has ended for a manual rear wheel drive supercar that just doesn't give a shit. Visibility in the Viper is something you notice, the lack of it. You are looking out of basically a slat. It feels like you're looking out of a tank over the hood, the extremely large hood of the Viper, although the hood slants down pretty quickly, so you are able to see where the front of the vehicle is very well. Let's talk about the shifter. The 6-speed manual is incredibly easy to shift. It's very short, it's very low, and it's positioned in a way that makes it very, very easy to downshift and upshift. We're gonna have Aaron Baumbach, our new professional racing driver, set a lap time in the ACR and use that as a benchmark for future cars that we test on M1 Concours. Likely this is going to set the quickest time of anything we test in a long, long time, but it will be nice to see. And he's gonna provide a little bit of the technical aspects of the car from somebody who has some serious driving experience.
Hey everyone, Aaron Baumbach here, pro driver, director of operations for M1 Concours Champion Motor Speedway. Out here today with the ACR Viper and Vehicle Virgins. Well, thank you guys for having me out today. Looking forward to a couple laps in this ACR. Definitely one of the most capable production track cars in the world. Multiple track records. This car is awesome. Of all the supercars I've had the pleasure of driving around this track, this car probably took the longest to get used to, maybe a couple extra laps. This thing is a handful, but an absolute pleasure to drive. Get a good warm-up lap in here, get some heat in the tires. Man, even at slow speeds, it sticks. A lot of race cars don't stick real well when you're going slow, but this thing, production-based, it is stuck to the ground when you are even going slow. Beautiful. Just neck-snapping downforce. Awesome brakes. Never fade. in there. This thing is as good as any race car I've been in. With slicks, it would be unstoppable. Everything on this car has a job, and they all do it well.
So Aaron took the Viper ACR around the track and set a lap time of 1 minute and 11.9 seconds. Of course, that's the only time we have so far. So for reference, you'll just have to believe that that is fast as hell. But in future vehicle versions reviews, we are going to compare the sports cars that we test on the track to that benchmark time of 1:11.9, which I'm sure will be extremely hard to beat. This was one hell of a fun day driving the Viper ACR. If you're looking for something that's insane on the track, that's possible to drive on the road, that's not going to absolutely break the bank, the Viper ACR is the way to go. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse our channel and subscribe. Special thanks to M1 Concours for both supplying the ACR and letting us use this track. Special thanks to Aaron Bombach, our new professional racing driver, for showing us what the ACR is all about. I'll look forward to seeing you next video.